start off by saying a lot of us in this room can relate to one simple thing: being a parent. Being a parent brings along tons of stress. How am I going to keep up financially? Am I going to keep a job while I have this kid? Am I going to be able to put a roof over their head and keep that roof over their head? The one thing I personally worry about is how I'm going to be able to be patient with my kid. I'm not a very patient person. But my favorite thing to say is discipline teaches patience. And my first example is my own mom. From a young age, around 6 years old, I was diagnosed with ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. I can't stop talking, can't stop moving, I can't stop eating. My mom learned this, and she started changing her ways. She started disciplining her own self. So instead of punishing me for things I did, she had me undo and redo. I dripped milk on the ground. She's not going to yell at me, "Don't do that ever again." No, she's going to say, "Pick it up, we're going to take it up. You're going to do that again," over and over and over. She never punished me for the same thing twice. She just told me, "You're going to just do that again." And I believe that through that, she learned her own self, she learned patience through her own self. Dealing with someone with ADHD is probably the hardest thing even I can do. And I've worked with kids in my dojo that they have their own ADHD, and I can relate, and it's so hard working with them. The second example is my own self. Back in Nevada, I decided to leave early for martial arts. And I took my mom's Jaguar, of all things, because I didn't have my own car at the time, and the other car I was supposed to take was my dad's possession. So I take the Jaguar, I get to a stop sign, and I try to take a left. This person starts coming down the road. I think he's going to take a right onto my street, and so I assume, which is the worst thing you can do when you're driving. You never assume. I assume they're going to take a right. I start taking a left, back of their car. $500 right there. But this is where my mom's discipline comes in. She says, "Nope, you're just going to work it off. You're going to pay me $500 when you can." So I'm going to. Over the time, since that accident last year around August, I've worked on my own self. I've become a better driver, and I have been disciplining myself because I know that I'm a very impatient driver, especially in Utah, where people drive like it's Sunday. That was a very clear example this morning. I didn't get here in time. My favorite example of discipline teaching patience is my own career field. Back in 2007, I believe, January 15th, shortly after taking off from LaGuardia Airport, Captain Sully Sullenberger hit a flock of birds. Now, both engines went out, which means he has absolutely no propulsion. He has to glide his plane back, and that's a very heavy plane to glide back. So instead of landing it back at the airport, he takes his little human reaction. And his human reaction takes about, I believe, 90 seconds. And he starts realizing, I can't take it back. But he stays in control of the situation. He stays extremely patient. He says, "I have the controls." His co-pilot says, "You have the controls." He starts turning it back, says, "We're not going to make it back. We're going to be in the Hudson." And instead of freaking out, instead of everyone else on that plane freaking out, he stayed extremely calm. And because of his patience, and because of his control, he landed that plane on the Hudson, and no fatalities were reported. Discipline teaches patience, and I cannot stress that enough. This matters a lot because it comes down to the very simple things to the very biggest things in your life. Whether that be, "Oh, I dropped milk on the floor. Am I gonna freak out? Am I gonna act out?" No, you're gonna compose yourself. You're gonna be extremely patient. You're gonna be calm. You're gonna clean it up. You're gonna do it again. "Oh, I didn't get this job." Well, you're gonna be patient. You're gonna be calm. You're gonna start looking for another one. You're not gonna punch yourself in the face. You need to discipline yourself with every aspect in your life. No procrastination. Look for another job if you need to. Force yourself to work out if you need to. Discipline teaches patience.